This video is going to explain how to draw a straight line when we're just given an equation. So what we do is we use the equation to get some coordinates. The first step is to make a table with x and y in it so that we can work out some coordinates. So I'm going to pick some numbers for x to be. It doesn't matter which numbers you pick for x, you can pick any numbers you like. However, bear in mind you're going to have to plot those numbers. So if you pick 30, you're going to have to make your x-axis go up to 30, which isn't always a good idea. So the easiest numbers to pick are usually just small, simple numbers. I'm going to pick numbers that are, say, 0, 1, and 2. Now what I need to do with these numbers is, in turn, I need to substitute each one into this equation and work out what y is. So for every one, I'm going to have to do y equals a third of that number, in other words, divide it by 3, and then add on 2. So if I wrote it like a function machine, it would be like whatever the number is, I would divide it by 3, and then whatever the answer is, I have to add 2 on, and that'll tell me what y is. So for the first one, whenever I divide it by 3, I'm going to get 0, and whenever I add 2 on, 0 add 2 is going to give me 2. So that's worked out 0 and 2. Now the next number, whenever I divide it by 3, I'm going to get a third, which is fair enough, but I want to pick out numbers that are quite easy to work with. So I'm going to change my mind, and instead of using 1 and 2, what I'm allowed to do is pick any numbers I want. So I'm going to pick numbers that are in the 3 times table, so that whenever I divide them by 3, it makes it nice and easy. So 0, 2 is fine. I'm going to pick 3, and I'm going to pick 6. So when I pick 3, if I put 3 into this box, a third of 3 is 3 divided by 3, which is just 1, and then add 2 on. So I'm going to get 3 for that one, actually. And then when I put 6 into the box, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then 2 add 2 is 4. Now what I've worked out here is, I've worked out 3 different coordinates. I've got the coordinate 0, 2, 3, 3, and 6, 4. And all I need to do now is plot those on a grid, join them up, and that'll be the line drawn. So before I plot them, I need to decide how big to draw the x and the y-axis. The x-axis is going up to 6. The biggest number in it is 6 and the smallest number is 0. And on the y-axis, the smallest number 2 and the biggest number is 4. So I need to go across at least 6. So I'll just go, I can go more than 6, but at least 6. And then on my y1, I need to go up to at least 4. So just go up a little bit and see. If I put the numbers on, remember that's the x-axis and that's the y-axis. 0, 0 is where the two axes cross, the origin. Then 1 across in any direction is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up the way, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I was going the other way, then this number down here would be -1, and this one across here would be -1. But I don't have any minuses in my table, so it's not necessary to do that. So then I plot my points. So 0, 2 means when x is 0, so on the x-axis across to 0, and then on the y-axis up to 2. So that's going to be that point there. 3, 3 means when x is 3, across to 3, and then y is 3, so that's up to 3, so there. Remember, we go along the hall and then up the stairs, and then 6, 4, along 6, and up to 4 is going to get me there. And then they should make a straight line. If you're ever in a situation where they don't make a straight line, all 3 of them, it means you've probably done one of them wrong when you were doing the working out bit up here, so you need to go back and check that. So that's the line drawn. All that's left to be done is write the equation on it. This is the equation y equals 1/3 of x plus 2. I'm going to do one slightly more tricky. I'm going to do this one over here. Y equals 3x take away 2. So let's see how that goes. So I'm going to make a table. Let's think about what x-axis or x values I'm going to pick. So I'm not having to divide the x this time, so it shouldn't really matter what number I pick. So I'm going to go just with my default, which is 0, 1, and 2. So when x is 0, so this time what our equation means is, whatever the number for x is, we want to do 3 times that number, and then take away 2 from the answer. That's what this equation is meaning. So if x was 0, 3 times 0 is still 0, take away 2 is -2. If x was 1, 3 times 1 is 3, and then 3 take away 2 is 1. And if x was 2, 3 times 2 is 6, and then 6 take away 2 is 4. Okay, so then again, need to draw the grid. Now this time the x-axis only needs to go across to 2. The y-axis needs to go up to 4, but it needs to also start down at -2, so it needs to go down a bit below 0. So let's stick that on like that. So if my y-axis is going to go -2, -1, I'm going to draw the line across there so that it works out nicely. So we've got x and y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to be 0, -1, -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, might as well put -1 in there as well. So, first of all, 0, -2, so across 0 up to -2, or down to -2 rather, is down there. 1, 1 is there, and 2, 4 is there. And then check, do they make a straight line? They do. And I'm going to draw the line in. The line doesn't have to just stop at the points that you've drawn. You can continue it, and normally you do continue it right the way across the sides of your graph. And that's the line y equals 3x minus 2. Okay, and that's us done.